coming on a sad day. As of this weekend, Gran Prix Karting, the Columbus Karting Institution, is closed. This opens up a very important point. A pretty controversial point that I want to ask. Is motorsports, organized motorsports in the United States, dead? Is what we're going through right now the death knell of everything we've grown up with? Screaming V8s, screaming 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, turbochargers, superchargers, the smell of gasoline in the morning. Is it all over? Well, follow me. Let me show you what I think. So this weekend I was actually able to make my last laps here at Gran Prix Karting. And it was a very bittersweet moment. It was still a lot of fun. We had a great time. We were able to set our laps and see our telemetry and compete with each other. But unfortunately, it's going to be the last laps we're able to make here at Gran Prix Karting because business is over with. As you know, indoor businesses are struggling. A lot of businesses were struggling before this. This was the death knell for Gran Prix Karting. Now, what's a more important subject to talk about is how many people in the motorsports world get their starting on these things. Whether they're indoor karts, they're outdoor karts, whatever kind of karts, almost every race car driver you know in Formula 1, in Indy, in Nascar, almost in any motorsport, all got their start in karts. It's the way you can teach the young to enjoy motorsport. It gives them the ability to understand throttle and braking and gas and entry-exit points, braking points. All of that stuff is learned in karting. You're doing it 10, 15, 20 miles an hour, so if you screw up, your little one makes a mistake, they're gonna learn, but they're not gonna get injured most of the time. So this, unfortunately, it's another casualty of what's going on right now, but it's not the only casualty. Let's talk more about this. So this is Circleville Raceway Park. Well, this is the gate to Circleville Raceway Park. Obviously, it's closed. It's winter time here in Ohio. As you can see, they open back up May 1st, 2021. This is a go-kart track. It's a really nice little tight technical course. Very nice for outdoor go-karting. They do little karts, they do bigger karts, they do mini bike racing, they do lots of different racing here. They also do autocross here. I have autocrossed here a number of times with the Buckeye Miata Club, and it's a great little track for the technical driving aspect of autocross. There's not a lot of long straights, so you can't get much speed up. You're maybe getting up to 30 or 40 miles an hour, but it gives you a lot of the technical understanding of race car driving, very similar to karts. But this time, instead of doing it in a go-kart, you're doing it in your car. Now, one thing that we've had a problem with over this past year is how many people can you have at an event? And when does that event break even on costs? Typically speaking, in the past, when I would go out with the Buckeye Miata Club, we would have the entire pit full of cars. 40 or 50 cars would not be a big deal. 60, 70 cars we would have on a pretty regular basis. This year, things were a lot different. Because of the fact that we had to behave ourselves because of the situation that's going on, they had to restrict the amount of registrations that they could do per event. So when the registration came available, it was sold out in a minute, maybe 2 minutes. So if you wanted to get out there and get your autocross racing on, you still couldn't. It was really frustrating for those of us who really, really wanted to do it. And we want to show support to the local businesses and the local tracks, because these places do not exist if we do not show them support. But we couldn't. We couldn't show them support because we couldn't be here. I've had some incredible experiences here. Actually, as I remember, my very first video that's on this channel was from Circleville Raceway Park. We filmed here before. Great little track. It's a small track, but it's a technical track that's really, really good for driving education and to learn how your car behaves and how you can control it. Now, this is a track. The other option for autocross is a parking lot. This is a parking lot. For those of us who are in the autocross world, parking lots are excellent places to have events. This used to be where the Sports Car Club of America would run the Ohio Valley region races. For the most part, we were, this was the pits, and then right over there is where the actual track was. This is owned by Ohio State University, and they were wonderful enough to, for years, let us use this very little used parking lot to be able to run our races. Nice open parking lot. We could create whatever kind of track we wanted to. It was excellent. The people of Sports Car Club of America ran the events every single weekend that they had out here, and it was fantastic. They had a wonderful, wonderful set of people that were able to run great events out here. But as you can see, it's no longer an empty parking lot. Ohio State has built the James Crane Sports Medicine Institute right there. So the parking lot is full and being used all the time, so we can't do racing. So again, autocross, wonderful way to learn automotive control, learn how your car reacts, learn how you react to your car. Unfortunately, it's gone too. Now this is a big business. This is the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. For anybody who's an automotive person in Central Ohio, or really any of Ohio, this is a mecca for motorsports. Indy races here, SCCA has done their nationals here. All sorts of different racing types have been hosted on this track. Unfortunately, that really happened this year. Because of all the things that we have had happen, most independent events didn't happen. Most of the large events didn't happen. If they did happen, they were running on a much, much smaller scale. This is a massive complex. I don't know the actual square footage of this place or yardage or acreage of this place. It's huge. I've been coming here since I was this tall to watch racing. This year, not the same kind of experience. As you may have seen in a previous episode, we came up here for a track day with the Auto Interest Group, and it was a great time. We had a wonderful time with those guys, but we were only able to do that much exploration around the track. You couldn't even walk into the infield. There were very few attendants that were actually working that day. There were no spectators allowed whatsoever at the event. The Indy 200 happens here every year. Usually this entire place is crawling with racing fans. This year, not so much. The economics behind that, how much money is lost when your entire season is gone. It really, really begs the question is, what's the future of this kind of racing? Have we seen the end of it? Will there be something else that will bring back the crowds to Mid-Ohio that we need in order to keep this racing facility and others open? Because it's not just circle track racing. It's not just road racing. It's straight line racing too. That's really, really suffering. Behind me is Pacemaker's drag strip. This is in Mount Vernon, Ohio. It is a small town, small drag strip. It's an 1/8 mile, nothing crazy, but as a drag strip, they've had a lot of challenges over the last couple of years. One of the things you really have to worry about, especially in certain areas of the country, is weather. Drag strips don't work in the rain. They don't work in the snow. They don't work in inclement weather. So you only have so many days per year that are going to be nice. With this year, it's been even worse. This drag strip almost didn't open this year. The past couple of years have been really tough. Pacemakers doesn't have a lot of large events that come here. It's not an NHRA certified track, but even the NHRA certified tracks like Norwalk, for example, just about 2 hours up the road from here, didn't even open this year. National Trails, which is about an hour away from here on the east side of Columbus, barely opened this year. And even when they did open, they had to have small events with very, very small attendance. These places survive on our ticket sales, as well as us buying hot dogs and beers and Cracker Jacks and chips and entry fees and all of that stuff. That's how these people pay their bills. That's how these tracks stay in business. When we're not coming to race and we're not coming to watch, how does this stay in business? Most businesses don't have piles of cash sitting around. If you're in the racing business or in the race hosting business, you very, very rarely ever have a pile of cash sitting around. It's a day-to-day struggle to be able to get enough events in, enough people in, to be able to pay your bills, pay your people, and keep your property open. This has been a terrible year for organized racing. Circle tracks, drag strips, road racing, you name it. It's been really, really tough. Is this the end of all motorsports in the United States? As all of these tracks close up, disappear, run out of money, it's not like they can just open back up the next day. They're doing more than making pies at these places. There's maintenance that needs to be done. There's upkeep that needs to be done. Is this the end? I've been thinking about how I want to end this video. If I wanted to go show you some burnout marks on a street somewhere where some illegal street racing action has been going down, or take you down south to where the Ohio Forest Rally happens. I decided to end it here. This is the Ohio Expo and State Fairgrounds. Every year, this is the home to Good Guys Nationals in Columbus, Ohio. One of the largest car shows anywhere in the world. And it's been like that for over a decade. This place in July is covered in hot rods, muscle cars, and people everywhere that are interested in automotive. They grew up with it. They've lived it, breathed it, slept it. They've worked in it. Their parents have done it. Their grandparents have done it. It's an American tradition. This year, didn't happen. Along with a lot of other events. Good Guys Nationals was canceled. It's tough. It's real tough. I wish I could end this on a more positive note, but as you can see, the sun is setting, and I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a, we'll call it whatever you want. There's the sun setting on motorsports in the United States. Go-karting is disappearing. As I spoke to you about in the beginning of the video, a lot of race car drivers get their starts with karts. The small mom and pop and local drag strips, they're closing. They've had a tough time of it lately. Now they've had a really tough time of it. Whether or not they survive this, who knows? The large tracks that have huge overheads, massive facilities, they're in the same ballgame. If they opened this year, they didn't do nearly the business they're used to. They don't have deep pockets. Those businesses are within a couple of months of being underwater as it is. And when those things go, we can't just bring them right back. We're going to be losing and missing out on something that's been an important part of the American culture for generations. Is this the end of motorsports in the United States? I don't know. I hope not. I know that illegal street racing is alive and well, and can you really blame them? The old adage of, don't do it in the streets, take it to the track. Great. Where? It's never been easier to build a fast car. The parts are easier to find. They're cheaper. The knowledge is everywhere. You can make a 10-second car for $4,000. I know people who have done it. We're going to use it. Sanctioned tracks and sanctioned events are gone. Whether or not they come back in the spring, let's hope so. So anyway, as I said, I wish I could close this out on a little bit more positive note, but this felt fitting. Please do like on this video. Drop us a comment in the section below. Let us know what you think. What is the future destiny of motorsports in America? Also, I would ask that you share this. Put it on your social media. Put it on Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, wherever you want to put it. Get the conversation started. Get people talking about it. Because unless we come out of this ready to get back to doing some sort of business, whatever it is, but we have to support these tracks. We have to support these small businesses and these events, or they're going to be gone. Because if you don't, we're going to be missing out on something that as car people, we have had for generations, and we will no longer have. We already know that the time isn't that long before a lot of things go electric, and we no longer have a lot of what we really love. But I don't think it's just yet. Thanks for watching. Take care.